Hi beautiful souls, welcome to Goddess Renaissance. Today I am going to be doing a very special reading for the month of October for which Witch Goddess has a message for you for this month. So it's very exciting because at Goddess Renaissance this month I have been guided to do a bit of a takeover with the witch goddesses. So each goddess of the week profile is going to be a witch goddess, and it's going to be one of these four goddesses here. And today, just before the 1st of October starts tomorrow, I've been guided to record this reading. There are four different witch goddesses here. So I'm going to introduce each pile, and if you intuitively see which one you're most drawn to, and then the timestamps will be below to receive the message. Okay, so if you are drawn to pile number 1, this is a beautiful red tiger stone crystal. Hopefully you can see that okay. It's like quite shimmery. It's also known as bullseye crystal, which is pretty cool. This is your goddess, witch goddess number 1. Pile number 2 is this one here. If you're drawn to this little cute pine cone, this goddess, you will be pile number 2. Pile number 3 is this little oracle essential oil, and this card here is your witch goddess, so pile number 3. And pile number 4 is this little bottle of crystals, tiny wee crystals, and that's your goddess there. So just take a minute, take a really deep breath in and a deep breath out. Ground your energy, just feel your energy sinking down into your body, all the way down into your feet, and connect with the earth. The month of October, and especially as we get closer to All Hallows Eve, we've just gone through equinox, so it's a really good time to start really connecting in with the earth and Mother Nature, and looking at what we need to harvest, what we need to prepare for ourselves before we go into winter and the nights get longer and the days get shorter. So it's really important to ground and connect with the earth. So just take a minute now just to really connect in with your body and connect in with the earth. Feel your feet as if roots are sprouting now from underneath your feet and going down into the soil and all the way down through the cord of the earth, all the way down into the core of Mother Earth, and feeling yourself really rooted. You can close your eyes as you do this and just take a really deep breath and feel that nourishing energy coming up from Mother Earth. And now when you open your eyes, just take a wee look at the cards and the wee witches familiars or accoutrements that are with each one, and see which one you're most drawn to. And then the timestamps will be below. And yes, we've got both oracle cards and tarot cards. So there's a different tarot deck for each of the four goddesses. So I'll be reading a little bit of a tarot story first to see what kind of narrative, and you'll get an indication of, yep, this is definitely my pile. That feels like it's ringing true from the story that's coming out. And then there'll be some oracle cards with some of the guidance that witch goddess has prepared to give you for this month of October. Okay, so see you in your pile. Hi pile 1, if you picked pile 1 with this gorgeous little red tiger's eye crystal and this card here, this is your pile, and you are witch goddess Hecate. So Hecate. So Hecate is known as the Dark One, and her message is to gather wisdom from deep sources. So she was often seen, Hecate is definitely, she's basically the queen of the witch goddesses. So congratulations if you picked this pile, you are the queen witch goddess, or you're definitely, you have the energy of the queen witch goddess reigning over you for the month of October. She is the goddess of the crossroads. She is the goddess of the keeper of the keys. So she's very much about like when you reach a transition in your life, or you're coming to a crossroads, or there's something, a very special journey for you to take. It's often a journey that involves going into or through and out the other side of the underworld. So that's what this message about gathering wisdom from deep sources was all about. So perhaps you might have just gone through something quite intense, and sort of coming out the other side, or navigating that at the moment, or you're going through some form of transition in your life. So it doesn't necessitate that you would have had to have gone through something really dark necessarily. It's just, she's definitely a goddess who is there to help you kind of, she's a goddess of rebirth in particular. So, you know, if you're needing to kind of rebirth yourself in a sense and go through like a new phase in your life, a new chapter, you're closing something out and stepping into something powerfully, then Hecate is the goddess for you. So that is this is your goddess for your pile. So I'm just going to I've got some pre-pulled some oracle cards for you, which I will show you in a moment, but we're going to start with a little bit of tarot. I've been guided to use the Wild Unknown tarot deck, so we'll see what messages come through from the Wild Unknown. So any messages from Goddess Hecate and our viewers, their highest selves, and the goddesses, and only the spirits from the highest love and light, please bring messages through. Thank you. Okay, let's see, without further ado, what messages have we got from Goddess Hecate for our pile ones? What goddesses have we got from pile Hecate for our, from Hecate for our pile ones? Yes, wow. So yeah, 10 of Swords. So perhaps you are coming out of something quite difficult. Now, I've just been nudged to say this might not be something that was super recent, like as in something you're going through right now. For some of you, it might well be something you're going through right now. 10 of Swords is often sort of it's a little bit like the Death card, or it's a little bit like the sort of end of something, or a bit of a, you know, swords can be to do with, well, in this case, it's a little bit like, you know, swords that are often linked with some kind of heartbreak. So it may be the end of a relationship, or just the ending of something, even some part of you, you know, a part of you that needs to die and you know, be I'm just again drawn to the fact that with Hecate, it's very much about like, it needs to die though in order for something to be reborn. So as much as this card can often look a bit intense and a bit scary, you know, and it seems like sort of the complete end of something, but it's like only the end so that then you can be reborn. So we've got the 10 of Swords straight off the bat. So it might be that if it's not something that you've just been through, that it's something that you went through a little while ago, or even it could even be like a couple of years ago, a year ago, you know, perhaps something that you went through that was quite difficult during COVID. You know, a lot of people lost, you know, during lockdowns, things like that, they either lost their work or a relationship, or you know, friendships because people were separated or things like that. So something that was quite intense and quite upsetting. So yeah, we'll see. Oh, missed one there, didn't quite jump out. You have 2 of Swords, so it looks like you're definitely at a crossroads here with these 2 swords. So there's 2 different potential directions for you to go in at the moment, and typically in the Rider Waite, it's all about kind of going within and trying to figure out which is the right direction. So you may well be at this crossroads right now of trying to decide between 2 potential different options there. Let's see what other tarot we've got. Any other tarot messages? Yeah, 5 of Swords. Yeah, absolutely. My goodness, something's definitely ended with this like sword that's kind of cut through. It's like with these 2 ends of a worm, and they've each got swords, and then there's a sword in the middle. So I feel like it might have been a relationship that might have had a bit of conflict in it. It's almost like your 2 ends, you and your partner are kind of 2 ends of this worm, and there was a lot of sort of swords coming at each other, but then it's almost like spirit has come in and just gone whoop, and split you up, and there's been a separation of some sort, in order to kind of stop this conflict. Or even if you sort of think, oh, but it wasn't, you know, like, well, why did we break up, or why did it end, or why did this thing end? You know, if it wasn't a relationship, it might have been a job or something where there was a lot of perhaps toxicity, or just non-reciprocity, you know, you just weren't on the same page. And, you know, swords can represent thoughts, so this may not have necessarily you know, come out in the physical realm, in the sense that, you know, you were sort of literally fighting verbally or necessarily or anything like that. This could just be, you know, sort of internal tension that you're both carrying around, or internal thoughts of like conflicting thoughts, or negative thoughts towards either this other person. You know, it could either be a friend or I'm sensing it's more of an intimate relationship, but that might, you know, that obviously won't be the case for everyone. So whoever's been drawn to this pile and this sense of going through some sort of rebirth, a new chapter, you know, just sort of feel into whatever is the, you know, the biggest thing that you feel like was sort of taken away from you, perhaps, or cut away from you. But it's a sense of like, you're not meant to go along with where this worm is going. So where this half of the worm is going. So, you know, and I know it feels really harsh that it's been cut, but like you're going to sort of grow over this end, and that person or that situation, that job or whatever, is also going to grow over that end, and you're going to be able to go off and like be better, like do, you know, have the sort of rebirth, get the wisdom from the pain of that situation, and you know, use that for your highest good in the long run. And I know that can sound really trite, and you know, if you have been through something very difficult, my condolences. I do absolutely understand what that is like. I have gone through very well. In fact, at the beginning of COVID last year, I also went through a difficult breakup, and I've also been in, you know, toxic workplaces and toxic relationships, or one in particular toxic relationship with a narcissist that was very painful. So I definitely understand how, you know, this can look quite bleak, and it can feel quite, you know, intense, and it can, and you know, I don't by any means suggest that like sort of looking at it as like, you know, oh, let's just immediately look to the bright side and be like, okay, well, you know, what is the blessing in this situation? And like, okay, well, this had to be taken away so something better could come along. Right, let's just get to the better point. Let's just like bypass all the gathering of the wisdom. And there's a need to kind of like definitely heal from this situation, this kind of death or ending. But you're going to, whichever path you sort of choose at this crossroads that you're at, it's like you're going to go towards the light. So you've come from this quite dark, conflicting. There's a lot of swords here, so a lot of air energy, you know, which is mental conflict. That's, you know, air and swords are related to the mind, and thoughts and habits and beliefs, and often self-limiting beliefs. You know, if this isn't related to a relationship or a job, this could be, you know, your own self-limiting beliefs, your own. Often, actually, Five of Swords is the card of internal conflict. I think in one of my other decks, it's got 5 different faces. 5 different faces of the same woman, all standing around fighting under a hot sun. So it's often a sense of internal conflict under pressure, like conflict where you're fighting with parts of yourself, perhaps a part of yourself that needs to die. You know, this is the month of October. We are heading towards, as I mentioned at the beginning, All Hallows. That is a time of the, you know, it's very much to do with the veil between the worlds being at their thinnest. So you can sort of both pick up on wisdom, you know, from the other realms, from the goddess realm, from the witch goddess realm, certainly. You know, and if you're not into witches or witch goddesses, you wouldn't be drawn. Oh, and I'm just drawn to the fact that on the bottom of the deck, we've got the Two of Pentacles. So we've got a Two of Swords and a Two of Pentacles here, and this butterfly. So there is this sword from Spirit is pointing towards this butterfly. So there is a rebirth, there is a regeneration, and Hecate is, like I said at the beginning when I introduced her, she is the goddess of rebirth and regeneration and alchemizing the dark, you know, going within, mining, you know, painful situations or loss or grief or toxicity or anything like that, for what did I learn here? How did this happen for me, not to me? You know, what wisdom did I actually gain from this situation? And often when we really do that deeper work, we realize that actually we've been going along with something that, you know, our intuition perhaps had told us was sort of, wasn't really perhaps our highest truth, and was kind of, we already perhaps had an internal conflict, you know, whether this is 2 parts of yourself, or whether this is another person or another job or another career or something, a project, a friendship, something that got cut apart in order to lead you to this to this beautiful butterfly, this rebirth situation. So it's a balancing act between, you know, a lot of people say Hecate is a really, and it does, I mean, it even says here the dark one, but my understanding of her and some further research that I've done on her recently would suggest that in actual fact, Hecate is a goddess of balance. She is actually a goddess of, she was repainted in patriarchal times when they did the retellings of many of the goddess myths. She was turned into a witch goddess in a way that was a very negative, dark, scary, you know, or she sort of, you know, a bit like the sort of many of the patriarchal stories about Baba Yaga, where, oh, she sort of lurks in the woods and she's all, ooh, shrouded and scary, ooh. But actually, she's actually a goddess of balancing your shadow self with your light self. And, you know, it's about, as much about, like, you know, it's not about kind of going into the dark or going into your shadow or going into these difficult things that have happened, whatever this death scenario was here, this Ten of Swords, you know, this ending. It's not about kind of going into it and getting you to go into it to stay stuck in it and like, oh, let's just sort of live in the shadow and let's live in victimhood. No, she's the opposite. It's about let's go into it gently. Let's shine some light on it. You know, and let's alchemize it, you know, let's use it. She's got, if you look her up, she often is shown with a snake wrapped around her. So she's very much about that alchemizing painful energy for your rebirth, like in the way that a snake is symbolic of shedding its skin and you know, having a new version of itself. And it's interesting, we've got a worm here, which is similar, sort of a bit similar to like a snake or a serpent. In that it crawls along the floor. You know, and then with the butterfly, we've got, you know, another theme of you know, going from a caterpillar to a butterfly. Yeah, so you're in, I feel like that's no coincidence. You're in the caterpillar stage. You're half caterpillar, half butterfly, but spirit needed to cut you away, or your guides or whoever, you know, it was, you know, your higher self. Something came in and cut this situation, this toxicity or this negative, painful situation away so that you could become your best self. And that's very much Hecate's medicine. I'm just going to see if there's any more tarot messages for you, and then I'm going to go into the oracle cards. This is incredible. You've got 3 twos here. So you've got 2 of Swords, 2 of Wands that was on the bottom of the deck before, and now 2 of Pentacles, my apologies, and now 2 of Wands. That is just 2, 2, 2, you know, which adds up, if you add that numerologically, that's number 6, and number 6 is the number of soulmates. So this could well be, you know, and butterflies are also symbolic of goddess Psyche, and Psyche is connected with the soul and also love. So, you know, you do the math. You do, and look how colorful this is. This 2 of Wands, and 2 of Wands is all about standing. It's not terribly pictorial in this, so it's just 2 wands, but in front of you know, two large sticks in front of kind of a rainbow spectrum here, which is not terribly evocative. But in the traditional, I do love this deck though, because it's very stark and the messages are very powerful. But just to explain a bit more about the 2 of Wands for you. So the 2 of Wands is about normally like a figure standing, you know, on horizon, like on the top of a mountain or something, looking out into the future, looking out over the open ocean or something at, like, you know, the journey that they're about to take. It's almost a little bit like, it has the energy a wee bit like the Fool card, but it's all about, Wands are to do with like passion, and again, so this could well be related to a new relationship that's going to come in, or just a better horizon for you. I mean, look, you've gone from, in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, you have gone from this 10 of Swords, whatever this was. You know, I'm sorry if this was very recent or if you're going through this now. I hope that it's something that you have started on your healing journey, and I think you have, because I said you're a caterpie. So you're probably breaking out of your chrysalis right now. You're about to, you're just you're shedding these last the last bit of skin from the caterpillar, or the snake, however, whatever you identify with, and you're coming into your your full butterfly self, so you can really fly. And look at the difference between those two cards. You've just got, it's such a contrast. It's just such a contrast. I hope you can see that there. The colors from really, really black and white, a lot of darkness, through to this, like, so many beautiful colors here. Just gorgeous, super multicolored. It's all the colors of the rainbow. So this is going to be very healing, whatever this new phase is for you. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for your tarot. I'm just going to move this actually up here, and then I'm going to move on to your oracle card messages. So I'll leave those at the top. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Going to put that there. Move that out of the way, so we're done with the tarot. There we go. Actually, put that in the middle. There we go. So the messages that I got for you from the cards are, whoopsie, we've got, first of all, was meditate and contemplate. New moon in Pisces. Have faith in your dreams, waxing crescent moon. And it's time to take action, new moon in Aries. Okay, and then for your archetype cards, we got the desert. Hopefully I'm just going to move these up a little bit more so you can actually see it. Meditate and contemplate, the desert. Have faith in your dreams, we got the queen. And it's time to take action, we got the threshold. So, okay, so the messages from this, and again, interesting, we've got with the queen, I'm drawn to the fact that she's holding a serpent here. So you are definitely going to step into your sovereignty through this situation, and Goddess Hecate is here for you this October to help you through this rebirth process, this shedding your snake skin, which I feel like was a you that was a much lesser you, and you're going to step into your sovereignty with this queen here. Rather than, I hear like control, like either you were being controlled or you were trying to control a situation, but either way it wasn't really working out, with that 10 of swords, and it wasn't in your highest good in the long run. It just was, it was like there was this energy of I'm hearing like push and pull. These two worms were trying to go in two different directions, and with this queen here, you were, it was just getting time to shed that skin, so that relationship or that situation needed to happen so that you could shed that skin and rebirth yourself and become the sovereign queen that you were absolutely meant to be. And it's right underneath the card, have faith in your dreams. So it's very important that you start tuning into what your dreams are at this time. So then we've also got the meditate and contemplate card and the desert. So again, I feel like the desert is a lot to do with your, whatever this situation was, this 10 of swords kind of thing. Something where it kind of needed to happen to push you into this feeling of like, almost like you're in an abyss, or you're in, it's like a sinking, again with there's sort of like this energy of like a kind of heat, like that pressure, like I was saying about the 5 of swords, where it can be 5 aspects of the same woman fighting under a hot sun. So whatever this pressure is, it's like necessary to refine things for you. So you're being put under pressure this October, or if you feel under pressure, you're being held through that pressure, because the desert is all about, you will often feel as if there's like no nourishment, no nothing, no water, no, you know, like you're just walking for miles and miles and just seeing, you know, so I was going to say an apocalypse, or not an apocalypse, just sort of seeing like nothing in the distance for you. Like it just seems like everything's empty, basically arid, dry. But nothing could be further from the truth. But the key is that you have to find that well inside this situation that you feel like for you is a bit of a desert at the moment. It might feel like a sort of a spiritual desert, like you're not getting any, you just don't know what's going on spiritually. You're not getting any guidance. You feel very frustrated, or you're, you know, whatever the situation was that you were cut away from, you don't understand why, and you feel at huge loss. There's this huge sense of loss of perhaps even identity. I'm hearing like losing yourself kind of thing, like you're sort of losing yourself, but that is part of this. I'm drawn back to the snake again. That's part of that death and rebirth process. That's part of that shedding the snake skin. So you will find yourself through this process of going through this desert. It will feel harsh and hot and difficult, and like hot in terms of like, like under pressure kind of thing, like because you're being like, that's part of the alchemy. That's part of the, you know, like I'm drawn to the analogy of like a, I was going to say pearl, but actually I'm being shown, you know, like a crystal, the way crystals are formed under like intense situations in the earth where there's often just this, a lot of heat, a lot of pressure, but the most beautiful crystals are formed as a result of that. And in fact, with this queen here, there is a pearl. Well, so I mean, it's obviously a very similar analogy to the pearl analogy. It's the same thing happens in the sea with a pearl, but there's a pearl here and there's also a crystal here. So it's the same sort of thing, you know. For you to step into your sovereignty and your full self and your strongest self, you need to go through this desert at the moment. This feeling of things being taken away, you know, cut away, ended, or this conflict, being at a bit of a crossroads, not quite knowing which way to go. But you'll be able to come into this new butterfly self and know your direction. Like Two of Wands is like really standing strong, you know, looking through these two wands at the direction that you've carved out for yourself, at this like new passionate life that you've carved out for yourself, you know. And the colors on these are just beautiful, and on these three cards here. So with meditate and contemplate, the guidance is very much when you feel like you are in this desert and nothing is happening and you're not getting any guidance and you're stuck, you know, meditate, contemplate, take time out, use that time in the desert for your own evolution and your own enlightenment and clarity. You know, just contemplate on your situation. You know, do spend time in meditation. Use this time out to, you know, this time in the desert. You know, metaphorically speaking, obviously not literally. I mean, you know, sure, by all means, if you can get to a desert or some kind of form of nature where you can kind of, you know, you're away from all stimulation, you know, in those kind of environments. There's no noise pollution, there's no light pollution, and it really clarifies the mind. Those types of intense natural, you know, I'm hearing like reserves, like a natural park or something like that. They when they're far away from any you know, distractions or stimulations, it's the perfect time to clarify, to meditate, to contemplate. You know, to also with Pisces, it's a lot to do with like, you know, well, it's a water sign, but it's a lot to do with like intuition. You know, you'll maybe get in this stage at the beginning of October, perhaps, that you might be going into this, or whenever you're drawn to this message, you might you might really get some like sort of downloads or some strong intuition, some strong nudges on how to step into this queen phase of your life and have sovereignty and start stepping forward into, you know, what your dreams are. And once you've kind of gone through that and shed your snake skin and regained this like pearl, the pearl is the pearl of wisdom, which is Hecate in just an embodiment, you know, gather wisdom from deep sources. So you know, that's you after you've gone through this desert and gone into yourself and meditated and gathered your wisdom. This is the pearl of wisdom. Once you've got the pearl of wisdom, you're the queen. You know, you're the queen of that wisdom. You can come out of the shadow now, you know, and then you're on the threshold here with this, which is the Two of Wands. The threshold is the Two of Wands. That's literally the Two of Wands, or the Fool card. You know, it's stepping off that mountaintop. It's going forward into the future with you know, like looking out at the horizon of what you're about to launch into. And this is backed up with a message of it's time to take action. New Moon in Aries. Aries is a fire sign, and there's a lot of fire energy here with the orange and the yellow. Hopefully you can see that okay. Yeah, and the feet just right on the end. I mean, this is literally the Two of Wands card in a way, but just depicted in a different way. But yeah, it's time to take action. Once you've got that wisdom and you've alchemized this situation, this whatever this was for you, the relationship or the previous job, the previous way of being, your old self. Once you've really gained that wisdom and really tapped into, you've gone through this desert phase and you've tapped into what your dreams are for you, because I feel like there's something to do with like not going along with what someone else wanted you to do. You know, perhaps you were being quite controlled in this situation. Could be by a parent figure even that you're not even conscious of, that's still controlling your life in some way, or you know, an ex-partner, or just it could be anything. I feel like there's something to do with your inner child and tuning in with your inner child and what are your dreams from childhood, because it's important to have faith in those. That will help with your healing. But yeah, once you've kind of gone through that whole alchemy process and that healing process and that refining and clarifying process, then you're on the threshold of your new life. You know, it's time to take action. Then you can get going. You know, then you can really go forward. You'll be the butterfly. You know, you can just fly into your new life. You know, you can fly. Like, how much faster can you do that? Before you were like this worm, this caterpillar, and you were just like crawling. You know, living under someone else's rules or something like that. You know, and now you can just take action on. You can just fly into your new reality. Okay, so my loves, that is, I think, all the messages I feel like for Witch Goddess Pile number 1, Goddess Hecate. I hope that resonated for some of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing if you're a new subscriber. Please keep an eye out on my channel, because I'll be posting more pick a card readings over the coming weeks. There'll be one every week, definitely, at least through this Witch Goddess Takeover. So I look forward to seeing you very soon. All my love. Bye. Hi there, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. If you picked this lovely card here and this wee pine cone, excuse me, this is a message for you. So your goddess is actually the beautiful goddess Circe. So the reason I'm showing you the Circe book is because this card here belongs to the the Apothecary Tarot belongs to the Herb Crafters Tarot deck, and that is the tarot deck that I'm going to be using for your messages. The goddess decks that I have, bizarrely, actually don't have the goddess Circe in it, which is very disappointing, and I've been trying to find another goddess deck that does have Circe in it. So Circe is the sorceress. She's the witch goddess of ancient Greece. So she was quite different from Goddess Hecate, and that she was very much to do with like sort of herbs and herb crafting and that kind of thing. And she was sort of half known as a bit of like half deity, half human in that sense, or half witch, half deity. But she was definitely still a goddess in her own right. And I'd highly recommend the Madeline Miller book. Circe is one of my absolute all-time favourite books. And I just could not do a Witch Goddess Takeover or Witch Goddess reading without Goddess Circe. So Circe is, for the purposes of this reading, she is exemplified or embodied by this beautiful 4 of Air card, Lavender. So I'm just going to keep her up the top as being symbolic of Goddess Circe. And her love of plants, and I'm going to use this lovely Herb Crafters deck for the tarot. So I've already pulled some oracle card messages from a few different oracle decks, which I will go into in a moment. So I'm just going to put those to one side for now and start with the tarot for you guys. Okay, so the tarot messages for pile 2, messages for pile 2, Goddess Circe. Goddess Circe, can I have some messages for our pile 2s? Goddess Circe, can I have some messages for our pile 2s? Goddess Circe, can I have some messages for our pile 2s? There we go. 2 of Water, 2 of Cups, Mellow. Yeah. Card 1. So this could be a for the month of October, this could be a soulmate that you're bringing in. This 2 of Cups is definitely, and mellow is a plant of sweetness, you know, like marshmallows, and it's a very healing plant. Whoa, there's a couple of cards there. Okay, so we've got 7 of Air, which is 7 of Swords, Eucalyptus, and we've got 10 of Air, Alfalfa, which is 10 of Swords. So something maybe being cut away there. Definitely a big time. We had the same. We had 10 of Swords in the previous reading as well on pile 1. So definitely a theme of death and rebirth happening. See if there's any other messages from, whoa, Goddess Circe. Okay, the Chariot, yeah, movement. The Chariot Setter. You can see that. Okay, it's a very beautiful card, that one. Okay, so I'm going to start with the tarot messages and then we'll move on to the oracle cards. Okay, let's have a look. So with this, okay, I'm being guided to show you one of your oracle card messages now, because is it the oracle card one? No, sorry, it's one of your animal card ones. So we had an animal medicine card and we've got hummingbird. Now look at that, 2 hummingbirds. There's a hummingbird here with this flower going into the mallow flower, picking out its nectar, and a hummingbird here doing the same thing. That is incredible synchronicity from Goddess Circe. So Circe's message for our pile 2s is it's to do with, actually, do you know what? I'm just gonna put your, I feel like your reading is going to be more cohesive, so I'm actually going to put all your oracle cards down. Sorry, I'm just been, each one has been slightly different, so I'm just being guided. Whoops, here we go, I'll put that one there. Squirrel. We've got mugwort and between dreams, and elderberry and cyclicality over here. Oops, I'm going to have to put that there. And for the fairy oracle cards, we've got singer of courage and honesty. These two here, which I'll put down here, and I'll move on to in a moment. So I'll move all of these up. There we go. Hopefully you can see those okay. Okay, so let's see. So the picture overall is one of healing and grounding in order to move forward with something, and to be able to spread your nectar with this double message of the hummingbird, this Two of Cups. And that's joy, you know, that's, I feel like that's, Two of Cups is to do with, it's not just a card of, you know, like love and relationships and partnerships and romance. It is that, it very much can be that, but it's also about finding that inner union or that inner balance of masculine and feminine, and that inner emotional contentment first. So an emotional harmony and joy, and hummingbird is very much a spirit and you know, animal medicine of spreading its joy, spreading its nectar, and you know, in other plants. And I feel like with this pile with Circe, yeah, okay, so the message I'm getting, that what they're showing me is you've been too much squirrel and you need to be more hummingbird, because you've been working hard and slaving away over something, squirreling things away, and you know, the medicine of squirrel, that's you know, squirrel, what squirrels do is important. You know, it is necessary to sometimes you know, protect our assets, or to you know, put something away for a rainy day. But I'm hearing that this is a bit mean, but to drive the point home, they're giving me the phrase that all work and no play makes Sally a dull girl, or something like, one of those kind of, I can't remember what the name of the girl is, but something like that, makes Sally a dull girl. But it's sort of like you've been focused on being a squirrel all year round, and squirrels only do the sort of the nut hiding, the acorn hiding, you know, at I think it's at autumn time, you know, just before they go to hibernate, so that they can find food in winter. And you're kind of behaving, this is sort of your energy all the time. You're always squirreling things away, you're always putting something away for a rainy day, and your guidance is that's good, but also cyclicality here with this card, it's a cycle. You know, you have to do these things in cycles, and there's a cycle, there's a season for the squirrel, and there's a season for the hummingbird, where you need to come out of your wee hidey hole, your hibernation, and spread your joy around, and have this sort of, I mean, this is just such a beautiful summary card here, this Two of Water, this mellow, you know, spread your joy, spread your love, share your gifts and your joy and your nectar with others. I feel like maybe for this pile, some of you might well be a bit like Goddess Circe, which might be why you were drawn to this pile, because you know, she self isolated herself, or she chose to after she angered her father and he banished her, so she or said she had to leave Olympus, but she self-banished or self-isolated herself to oh, forgive me, I've completely forgotten the name. It was a couple of years ago I read the book, to the island of Aiaia, that's right. I might be saying that wrong as well, so apologies if I am. But the point is that she sort of hermited herself away. And okay, yes, that's important. She kind of did all this, she made all those remedies and all those plant, she did all these sort of plant cuttings and figuring out different, like she created a whole, almost like an apothecary on that island from all the different things, all the plants that she'd been working with. And there was a lot of just like, in the sort of kitchen that she took over and regenerated on that abandoned island in this abandoned house. And she'd, figured all this stuff, this brilliant stuff out, this sort of beautiful apothecary stuff. Seven of air, Seven of Swords. This is about someone furtively doing something. And I don't feel like in your case this is bad. It can be a card of, in some decks, like the traditional Rider-Waite, it's the card of the man sort of stealing or sneaking around in the night, with he's sort of furtively running off with 7 swords. But I don't feel like that is the case with you at all. What it is there's this energy of just being a bit secretive, a bit hermit-like, a bit self-isolating. Maybe you're almost preemptively shutting yourself away because, like the Witch Goddess, like Cersei specifically, you don't feel that people will benefit from this hummingbird side of you, this joy side, this love that you have to give. You're kind of not fully tapping into it. You're kind of being, you're perhaps a bit introverted, or you're just kind of keeping things to yourself. You're keeping a lot of your emotions to yourself or joy to yourself. And it may be that on the surface, you might say, oh, well, I am quite extroverted. And it may be that you might even have a partner, you might have friends, whatever, or you see people at work or something. But what I've been drawn to say next is about, because underneath this 7 of air, and 7 of air is to do with furtiveness and deceptiveness. Now, again, I'm not saying you're deceptive, but there might be an aspect of yourself with honesty, with this little cute honesty kind of dragon fairy dude here, where you're not really showing your real self. You're sort of being the squirrel person. You're sort of showing the squirrel side of you, maybe. The one that is a bit of a, kind of a bit, I'm hearing like by the book, or you're just sort of a little bit going almost the squirrel. The energy of the squirrel can sometimes just be a bit frantically going about doing its things. Like it's just running from tree to tree and getting as many acorns as it can, and hiding as many as it can in all these different places so that it's got something for future. And it's like there's this energy of like work, like I'm seeing like a guinea pig on a treadmill. So some of you might be a little bit of workaholism going on, maybe like sort of denying your true self, or if you're not being fully honest with yourself, or you're not really fully being the real you, and you're suppressing that through overworking, maybe, or just maybe there could be something, and this being October, and often shadow stuff can come up to be healed, and with the witch goddesses, they're brilliant goddesses to help transmute all of that. There could be an energy of something maybe from, I'm seeing maybe something from childhood potentially, where you were taught. I'm kind of seeing a picture of someone who quite young had to like be almost like the breadwinner, or almost like you had to bear a lot of responsibility, and you had to be the one to put the little acorns away, and look after the clan sort of thing. And that was a lot of weight to bear, and it meant that it's kind of made your joy kind of suppressed. And what Spirit's saying is the importance of the cyclical nature of life, and the seasonal nature of things, and that it's important to have some time, yes, to do that, and that's great, and take care of responsibilities, and you know, put things away for the winter, and make sure you have enough food and, you know, the survival things met for sure, and maybe a little bit for future, for you know, for in case of a rainy day, but not so much to the point that you're like denying the kind of spring and summer of your life. It's almost like you're kind of stuck in perpetual autumn harvest mode of needing to like keep working and then hiding the money, or sort of furtively ferreting things away. I'm kind of seeing this energy of like kind of needing to like hoard or hold on to your money or put things away. And it's like there's a necessity to, you know, like Two of Cups is like beautiful emotional fulfillment that's waiting for you, and like, you know, celebration between like two people, or you know, it's just such a gorgeous card. And mellow is all about, the medicine of mellow is all about sweetness. You know, and I'm seeing perhaps with some of you, it might be like even quite healing for your inner child to like do something really funny this October, like literally go and, you know, roast marshmallows on an, I don't know if you, I know if I say roast marshmallows on an open fire, you might say like, oh, I don't have access to that or whatever. But, you know, that kind of thing. Like, it doesn't have to literally be on an open fire, but just something where you're able to tap into that inner child self, that kind of really fun self. Like maybe you did love to go camping when you were a kid, because I am just seeing this image of you sort of out in the woods or something camping. I know the weather's horrible at the moment. If you're anywhere near where I am in the UK, this weekend is terrible, so it's probably not the time right now. But, you know, even just, yeah, in an evening, go for a walk in your local woods when it's not raining. And, you know, if you're allowed to build a very small, you know, if it's allowed, in some places you can do this. You can build a small campfire kind of thing, in a secure, non-risky way. So before you say I'm suggesting fire hazards, just, you know, take responsibility. But the point is, you know, doing something that is almost like the energy of mellow, like marshmallows, like roasting mellows under, you know, over a campfire or something like that. Yeah. And I know also, before you say like commercial marshmallows are completely different from mellow. Yes, that is true. But the point is that the energy, the spirit of the mellow is to have that lightness in life, you know. We've talked about the Seven of Air. So Ten of Air, Ten of Swords, there's this cutting away. Ten of Swords is about like an ending quite often, or something that needs to go, something that needs to be let die so that something new can grow through. And it's very much with, you know, Cersei's medicine. She understands that. She knows about plants. She knows that sometimes you have to cut back plants in order for them to actually survive and live. So there does need to be some pruning or some cutting back of something. And I feel like it is this, it could be a job or a career path or some line of work that you've been perhaps overworking in, or I'm hearing like over delivering. So it could just be a pattern, a habit of like overworking, over delivering, something like that needs to be let go of. Or it could be just something that's not really working for you that needs to be cut away, whether that's a relationship or a job or a career path or something, some kind of project that just isn't really working out. There's kind of an ending that needs to happen. And then with the Singer of Courage here, the fairy card, Singer of Courage, this is about like having the courage to do that, to literally prune, to cut away what needs to be cut away, so that you can be honest and stand in your truth, and be who you really are, be authentic. And it might be that you need to get really honest with yourself in order to then tap into the courage to do this, whatever this is that you need to cut away. this sort of weed, maybe something that's sort of toxic or strangling the growth of the other actual plants that need to grow through. And yeah, eucalyptus, and there's this very green energy here with eucalyptus plants are very like cleansing to the nasal passages and the throat, like when you get a really bad cold and sore throat and things like that, and that whole area gets bunged up, and you'll put some kind of a one of those Vicks vapor rub or something like that. Or I mean, if you're really holistic witchy, then you probably don't put Vicks, but you probably put some kind of maybe like a eucalyptus oil remedy or something on your like, or do like a steam inhalation of eucalyptus to open up your air passageways. And I'm sensing that needs to happen. There's some, like, metaphorically speaking, the medicine of eucalyptus is to like clear the congestion away. Also, 10 of air, 10 of swords, cut away the weeds, clear the congestion away so you can be honest and get to the truth of who you really are. Clear away, cleanse away congestion, cleanse away, clear away, make your vocal passageways a lot clearer so you can speak more easily. You can speak your truth from your heart, because you've got both green and blue here, so heart chakra and throat chakra. Have the courage to speak your authentic truth from the heart. There's a need to do that. Excuse me. And then we've got the Chariot here. Excuse me. We've got the Chariot here, which is all about this. Okay, so normally the Chariot, it's interesting, normally the Chariot is a card of movement, and it shows two horses, and they're often one's black and one's white, and there's a charioteer sort of stood holding the reins of two horses, and there's this energy of forward momentum and movement, and like often a balancing of yin and yang energies, and like a propulsion, like chariot. When you think chariot, you think sort of someone driving a chariot. But in this deck, it's cedar, and it's got this sort of, it's the tree of life symbol here with the almost like ferns at the top, and then like the roots coming down the bottom, and it's encased in a circle. And my feeling is that with this chariot, with the energy of this chariot is less to do with like moving forward, and more to do with grounding in your truth, grounding in your honesty, grounding in getting really clear and really courageous on who you really are. I'm being guided to, I'm just going to look, because I feel like there's another message, and also I haven't forgotten there's another card here. I'll come to that in a second. So the Chariot, there's another message that they want me to draw your attention to. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so it's sort of both. So it's grounding and gaining wisdom, but also moving forward. So life is a forward moving gift. Embark on a deeper quest. Learn from ancient wisdom and forge a new path. Yeah, I mean, embark on a deeper quest. That's sort of along the lines of what I was saying with this squirrel and needing to go into the hummingbird and find the truth of who you are. Go deep, clear out what isn't working, and gain this ancient wisdom. Circe was all about working with the plants and with the earth, and the animals and nature, and forging her own way, gaining this sort of ancient earth wisdom, like earth goddess wisdom. The witch goddess is it's not witch as in dark. That's patriarchal bullshit, essentially. It's patriarchal propaganda to link witches with literally with darkness. It's witch just means, you know, the power of a woman, or the healing power in particular of a woman. And so with these witch goddesses, they're about the healing power that is innate within women and women's bodies, but also within the earth, with Mother Earth, with Gaia, and getting in tune with that. And there's just so much earth energy here. I mean, naturally there's going to be, because it's got a Circe, but there's just, you know, there's so much green here, and the cycles, you know, the cycles of nature. And with this cedar tree, this is all about, you know, it's a forest, which is what Circe used to walk in the forest every day, you know. So it's all about not that it's a cyclical journey. It's going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into your truth, honesty. It's not a linear journey like with the squirrel previously in your life. And maybe you're coming out of this now. Maybe you're moving into this hummingbird, and you're like, yeah, that's what I used to do. I used to overwork, you know, before COVID, and then, you know, we were in lockdown, and then I realized actually my truth is something else altogether. You know, my truth is to, I don't know, go and be a herbalist or something, or go into homeopathy or some sort of healing arts, or some sort of something to do with protecting the earth maybe, or protecting animals, or, you know, spreading your joy, being creative in some other way. And it's in this very cyclical way, you know, it's a chariot, it's forward movement, but cyclically, it's like needing to burrow down and find that inner wisdom, that ancient wisdom first before moving forward. So, so cedar is both a spiritual vessel used in sacred ceremony and a literal vessel when it is used for making canoes. Like strong, flexible cedar roots finding their way through the forest, be determined and opportunistic. Travel between the worlds of heaven and earth. Bring the knowledge of spirit and soul into the body, just as the cedar trunk contains the stories of the earth. Have faith in the experience. It is not the triumph of the journey that leads to mastery. So encounter cedar in the wild, ask for guidance, carry a small leaf in your pocket for courage. And what do we have here? The singer of courage. So there's definitely some need in October for my pile 2s to call on your courage, to step into your courage, to cut this away, whatever this is, or to go deeper into your ancient truth. Practice discipline and flexibility. Harvest cedar honorably with ceremony and intention. Well, you're probably not going to harvest cedar. Well, maybe you are, but you know, the essence is there. The sense of grounding into the truth of who you are, and going through that cyclical journey. It is a chariot journey, but it's not a chariot journey in terms of literally you might be moving. Chariot can definitely symbolize a move. So you may be moving jobs or careers or relationships, or moving house, moving countries, moving cities, cutting away some job or some house or something that wasn't working out, and moving. But my feeling is actually for most of you, or what this is mostly symbolic of, which may end up getting reflected in a physical move, is first an internal shift and an internal reflection, and a journey between like heaven and earth, and like, you know, gaining that ancient wisdom. Really drawing in the ancient wisdom, that deep remembrance of that witchy wisdom. We all have like an inner wise woman. If you've been drawn to this reading, there's a high chance that you have, you know, you had a past incarnation on earth or something along those lines, you know, or it's in your ancestry in some sense. You've got that you've got that witch remembrance. You've got that wise woman remembrance within you. The way Circe, when she went to Aya, she worked with the plants, and then the wisdom of the plant started coming back to her. It started activating in her. She remembered this ancient wisdom. The earth sort of spoke to her, you know, the plant spoke to her, and she figured out this new sort of earth magic. And now I'm not saying all of you go be Circe, you know. I mean, that would be great. I would love to be Circe. I literally that would be like a dream. But you know, we don't all have our own islands that like sitting in the family that we can self-banish ourselves to go and learn plants. I mean, maybe you do. Maybe that literally is what you need to do. Maybe that's what this courage is about, is going forward into some grand unknown and situation like that, and figuring that all out. And now I'm finally drawn to this between dreams, which again really matches up with this Chariot and the between worlds, like living between heaven and earth, or gaining wisdom from heaven and like rooting it into yourself and into the earth. And between dreams and mugwort is all about, like, I mean, it's got a dream catcher there. Your task is to have the courage to kind of let go of Ten of Air. You're squirreling and you're holding on to something from the past, or something that isn't really working out for you. Have the courage to go into your truth, your honesty. Be honest with yourself. What's going to bring you more joy? You know, what do you need to do? And then pay attention to your dreams, because your dreams are going to give you the answer. Now, this can be literally, you know, your dreams at sleep, in your sleep state. So you might wake up and have some messages from dreams, or have some crazy dreams about things over this month. But, you know, it could also just be daydreaming. You know, lucid dreaming, that kind of thing. Like, you know, perhaps if you have a little nap in the afternoon and you don't intend to fully sleep, but you're kind of half sleeping, you're half between worlds, and you're half, you know, you're kind of half connecting with that realm in a sort of lucid way. So you're not fully asleep in the way that you it's just your subconscious, and then you kind of wake up and you don't really remember anything. It's like slightly lucid. There's a veil between the worlds, but you're kind of slightly conscious while you're in that dream of what's going on. So be aware of those types of dreams, because there's something significant about the dream world and with this dream catcher, where you're going to get this wisdom, this ancient wisdom that you need to that it's time to ground through you. It's time to have the courage, you know, and the honesty to go forward with this. And I'm just being guided to say that I actually I read this way round, but in actual fact you could read this way round. So it could be that you're going through this it'll be different for some of you, is what I'm hearing. So some of you may be having this sort of inner grounding and inner gaining of the ancient wisdom, an inner journey first that will lead you to cutting something away and sort of running off, maybe. That could well be where I did pick up on a strand of people where it's like, it's kind of a good running off, you know. Like, it's like, to others it might look like you're sort of sneaking off to do something, or like there's like a almost like they're seeing it as selfish, but it's not. Like, you need to do this. There's a moving towards your Two of Cups. What makes you happy? You know, and again, this could be a person, this could be a Two of Cups, like moving towards a soulmate. But my feeling is this is more to do with moving towards like an inner union, an inner contentment, and finding happiness, you know, moving towards your summer. And literally, look at this, winter. This is kind of autumn, spring, summer in a way. If you could say, I mean, I don't know if you can say eucalyptus is spring, but but this is autumn. This is sort of autumn winter kind of time with the cedar. It's very like, yeah, wintry kind of in the colors and everything. And then you've got the summer here. So this could be, even though this is a message for October, this could be to do with like, this process might be activating in October to move towards, you know, that could take the whole rest of the year. But it's really important to have all those seasons, to not just have your working hard, you know, like the squirrel, so that you can be prepared for winter. It's like life isn't perpetual winter. There is also spring and summer, although if you live in the UK, you might argue that this last year has not we've not had much of a summer, so I would forgive you for being extra worried about winter, because that is kind of, you know, the weather. But anyway, jokes aside, the point is that, you know, we have all the seasons available, and you've got to have your joy. You've got to have some summer, but, you know, pay attention to your dreams. I'm just gonna pay attention to your dreams, especially. But I think that's all the messages for you for today. Pile 2, Goddess Circe. I would highly encourage you to read the book. If you haven't already, I'd highly encourage you to read the book Circe by Madeline Miller. It is the best read ever, and it might inspire something in you. And also cedarwood. I would encourage you to get some cedarwood essential oil as well, and put it. You can get a little oil burner like I have here, and put it in the oil burner, and that will help you ground and also access that ancient wisdom, because cedar's got a very like activating kind of properties that will help your subconscious mind, your dream state, your lucid self access those ancient earth wisdom that you need to access. So, okay, my loves, if this resonated, please let me know in the messages below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I thank you so much for being here. It is so wonderful to have you. Please check out my website. All the details are below. There are going to be blog posts about every witch goddess of the 4 over the next 4 weeks on every Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that. If you follow me on Instagram, which the details will be below for that as well. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see the notification when those posts go live, and you can find out more about Goddess Circe there as well. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, and all my love. See you soon. Bye. Hi there, Pile 3. If you chose this card and this little Oracle Essential Oil, then you are Goddess Morgan Le Fay. So her little keywords are fate, intuition, magic, and prophecy. She's an amazing Celtic goddess. As I mentioned to the other piles, and I'll put some details below as well. I am going to be doing a Goddess of the Week post, which if you subscribe to my Instagram, there'll be a notification when that post goes live. And the full blog post will be on my website each Wednesday, so there'll be more about each goddess then. For today, I'm just going to focus more on your the messages from the goddess for you, as opposed to all about the goddess. But essentially she is a goddess of prophecy, and she was highly intuitive, and with a crow there, it was all about sort of having that bridge to the other world, and helping you to like step into your destiny. She's a very magical goddess, so if you're into like casting spells or spell work or anything like that, or any you do with prophecy here, you might do some or be wanting to sharpen or step into some kind of divination work. So Morgan Le Fay is your girl. Okay, so I'm going to start off with some tarot card readings. So I've got the Everyday Witch card, the Everyday Witch deck here for you. Okay, so checking it is recording. Yes, sorry. Okay, so let's get some tarot messages for our pile 3s. We have some tarot messages for pile 3. We've got some tarot messages for pile 3. Okay, so we've got brilliant King of Cups. That's what we like to see. So someone who is in their emotional mastery, I'm hearing. So this could be you stepping into like this beautiful, like on your throne here, with this lovely red cape, and you've got your big cup, and you're looking out over the ocean, and you're just really like pretty content, really pretty chill, pretty content, in your feels, but in a good way. You know, or this could be a person coming into your life. This could be a King of Cups person coming in. So Morgan Le Fay might be prophesizing with this message that this is coming in for you. So let's get some more. Oh, I see those jumped. Let's try that again. Yeah. So we've got, the Hierophant. So this is, in this situation with the Hierophant, this is often to do with a teacher or an institution or something like that. But in this case, I feel like this is about you, like stepping into your power and your sovereignty, and your, like, it's got a yoga teacher here with 2 people on yoga mats. So this could be, maybe you're thinking about being a yoga teacher, or you are a yoga teacher. So this is confirmation. This is your power. But it's about you kind of stepping into your being a Hierophant, your being the higher power, the teacher. So we've then got, oh wow, the Lovers and the 4 of Pentacles. Okay. So what have we got here? So, I mean, I feel like there is possibly a love relationship coming through for you here. So this could be a King of Cups character coming into your life, someone who's really mature emotionally, it's a really emotionally fulfilling relationship. They're very sensitive, so they could be a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or it could just be, or this could be you kind of stepping into this as well. Now, even though it's a king, this can be, it can be whether it's not gender specific, so, it can be whether you're man or woman, but you're just stepping into that sort of full mastery, or you're kind of mastering that kind of side of you, you're kind of, masculine, like in a healthy way, a kind of a strong protective side of yourself. You're needing to kind of step into the King of Cups within yourself. But there is, with the Lovers card here, I do, and the 4 of Pentacles, which often speaks of it can speak of, you've got this man here kind of sitting on a treasure chest, and he's kind of holding on to it. So this could be seen as like, okay, so what I'm getting through is that, like, with the Lovers here, this is like a connection to hold on to. This is a long-term connection. This is someone you're going to want to hold on to, this King of Cups person that's coming in. But, sometimes 4 of Pentacles can speak of, like, sort of a sense of almost like hoarding, or like, if it's related to wealth, or like Pentacles being to do with money, literally. It can be to do with sort of like keeping a clamp on your resources and your finances, and kind of being like, I don't really want someone to steal them, so I'm just going to sit on them, I'm just going to keep a hold of this. But my feeling is with this, these 2 people kind of holding hands here, and they're sort of clasping hands, it's more to do with kind of a very sort of super connected, super close-knit love situation that might be coming through for you. Wow, so I haven't had any kind of love things come through yet for the previous cards, so this is quite exciting for you guys for this October. 7 of Cups, wow, yeah, and she's got the bubble. I love this. The bubble that she's pointing at is the bubble with the love heart in the middle, and this witch, I don't know if you can see that very well, but this witch is looking at the camera, or looking at straight at us, being like, yeah, I knew you were going to choose love, kind of thing. So it might be that, because with all these other bubbles, there's lots of like, there's like a book and money and a castle and various other things. And 7 of Cups is all to do with like, fantasizing and lots of different options, and like, like daydreaming about like, maybe I want this, or maybe do I want that, or like, like lots of things for me. But she's kind of pointing at the love one and kind of considering it. So I feel like there's definitely a sense of whatever this situation is that comes in for you, you're seriously giving it some consideration here. You're mulling over whether to do it. But I'm being drawn back to, Morgan Le Fay is drawing me back to intuition and the importance of going within and trusting your intuition and your inner teacher, Hierophant. Even though you may be a teacher who works with your intuition, or you might be a tarot reader yourself, you might be a you work with some form of divination yourself, if you were drawn to this path, quite possibly, or you're just highly psychic or highly intuitive, and maybe you teach in that field, something related to that. I'm hearing like body wisdom, so you could be some kind of body worker or yoga teacher or something along those lines, but the importance is to trust your body wisdom in this situation. So don't get too caught up in fantasies or in your head, because your body knows, like your inner teacher knows. So I'm going to get a little bit more of a clarify on what the Seven of Cups here. Whoa, nearly fell off the... Okay, Three of Pentacles. Yeah, that's what we like to see. So teamwork, working together, you know, with, yeah, the lovers. You know, and this might be, if this isn't a love relationship that comes out, so don't be writing me being like, I didn't find, like, my King of Cups didn't come in October. This is not necessarily these things are going to exactly happen in October, but this is like the energy is available to potentially happen for you. It might be the start of something. You might meet someone that might later evolve into a lover's relationship. Or if it's not literally, sometimes this isn't necessarily, you know, exactly to do with love and romantic relationships, but more to do with like finding, you know, finding that inner union, that inner harmony, that inner lover. You know, it's really important to find your inner King of Cups first, your inner masculine, a healthy masculine, a protective masculine, you know, what would a sort of protective father want for you? You know, how would he be sort of protecting you and looking out for you and kind of keeping you safe and keeping you, you know, kind of making sure that you're not just, you know, spreading your, you know, spreading yourself too thin or being taken advantage of or anything like that. And I don't think that's going to be the case at all. But I'm just saying, like, you know, if it's not to do with, you know, if you don't necessarily see manifestations on the physical plane yet in October around a love situation, and that is something that you want, then this could be more to do with, like, you know, an inner harmonizing, an inner balancing of your yin and yang selves. You know, and maybe with the Seven of Cups, it might be that you need a bit of time to figure out. Maybe there is someone who's come in, but you're not sure. You're trying to figure it out. It's like, do I want love, or do I actually want work to focus on money? Do I want to focus on my house right now? Do I want to focus on writing a book, or, you know, whatever this book is, this book of spells, or, you know, like being out in nature, or, you know, what, like other things, like you're kind of like you're distracted by lots of things going on. So and with Three of Pentacles, it's like this is to do with like teamwork and working together. Now this could be either working together well in this harmonious partnership, this lover situation, you're gonna work very well together. Or this could be more like, actually, you know what, I'm gonna focus on work now. I've got this team, I've got this project going on, we're all working really well together. This is my focus, this is where my energy's going. You know, which okay, so Morgan Le Fay is guiding me to the cards right now. So we've got to the oracle cards that I got for you. So I'm gonna move these down a little bit. Okay, so we've got the bear and we've got the unicorn as the animal spirit, Kim Cran's animal spirit deck. So I'm going to put Morgan Le Fay up here. Hopefully you can still see her. There we go. And we've got your commitment is being tested. Your commitment is being tested. And first quarter moon. And we've got you're close to achieving your goal, gibbous moon. Yeah. So I see the storyline now. So your commitment to whatever this project is being tested right now. You know, you're close to achieving your goal, and whatever this is, you know, these people working together to like create something. So you could be at quite a pivotal time in your work or your career or a creative project, whether you work with other people or just, you know, with spirit. Maybe you might, you know, like I said, some of you might be you do something to do with divination. So, you know, you could be an entrepreneur, but so it doesn't have to literally mean teamwork with other people. But I feel like there's something to do with work. Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, you know, working in a team, working well together. Yeah, and your commitment is being tested around that. But you're very close to achieving your goal with whatever that is. Also, there's another strand of you that is in this relationship situation, or does have this lover's opportunity come through, perhaps. In which case, this Three of Pentacles is more to do with long-term. You know, in I think in one of my decks, I think it's the Goddess deck. Three of Pentacles is the Taj Mahal card, which I just love because it's sort of like the card of you know, I forget the name of the man who built the Taj Mahal for his wife as a symbol of his love for her. But it's a sense of long term and the big vision and working towards something together. You know, working together for a greater vision, working together to like make something happen. You know, to build something together. So you may well be, you know, building something new with this King of Cups and working well together with this in this harmonious love partnership. Or if that doesn't apply, like I said, take it as it resonates. This could be more to do with work and a project. But either way, you're very close to achieving your goal. You're very close to having that come into fruition for you either way. Now with the bear here, so we've also got the King Arthur card, which his keywords are authority, justice, leadership, and power, which I'm going to put over here with the bear. And we got the Holy Grail, which is regeneration, life force, spirit, and wisdom. There we go, the Holy Grail, which I'm going to put over here with the unicorn. So I hope you can see that all right. So with the bear and the unicorn, it's interesting. I got the bear with the King of Cups, and I was talking about protection earlier and protecting yourself, or having a protective father figure, or being that protective father figure type person for yourself. With this bear, bears are all about that. You know, if you think about mother bear, how protective they are of their cubs, there's a sense of needing to be it's almost like be in this. I mean, it's funny, we've got King Arthur and King of Cups, and like a sense of leadership, power, authority. So again, this could be you stepping into this energy, and with the Three of Pentacles here, you know, making sure like you're stepping into leadership. You know, this could be you leading this team, you know, in this endeavor, in this long-term goal, long-term project. You know, you're close to achieving that. Or it could be that this bear or this King Arthur person, this power, authoritative person, is another person that's coming into your life, and another love interest maybe, that's coming in this October potentially, or you've met them recently, so you know who I'm talking about. They could be some leader in their job. They could be a boss. Yeah. And they're very protective of you. Yeah, they're very protective of you. And I feel like your energy, I feel like this, yeah, I'm getting slightly two different energies for a strand of you. This won't be for everyone, so take it as it resonates. But for some of you, if this is a relationship type dynamic, there's the King of Cups energy, and there's this Hierophant energy, which I think is you, my feeling is you, and you're more about the body wisdom and the intuition and the divination and wisdom and spirit, and you're symbolized by this unicorn, and this Holy Grail, which is life force, spirit, wisdom, regeneration. And the Grail cup is the vessel. I mean, it's the feminine vessel. It's the vessel of the womb. You know, the cup is like the womb that holds the blood. And the unicorn is about individuality and being this like rare creature that is this rare spiritual creature that is rarely seen, that has so much wisdom and so much like otherworldly like aura, I'm hearing. So you could well be like just have this beautiful aura, and then there's this other person that's coming in who you know, you're tempted, right? You're really seriously considering, you know, getting into this lover's relationship with them, because you know, with this love heart there, and they're very protective of you. And yeah, because you're with this unicorn, it's like you're so rare and so with the moon behind as well, it's like you're very attuned to the moon. So you could be like a Cancer, sun, moon or rising sign. The moon is ruled by, Cancer is ruled by the moon. Or you could just identify with, you could have Cancer in some major placement on your chart and you just really identify with Cancer, or you're really like ruled by cycles. Regeneration, life force. Yeah, I think there's something around with your commitment is being tested it's something to do with this life force thing, and just watching that you're not draining your life force with diluting it with lots and lots of different things. Now this could be perhaps overindulging in a love connection, maybe this lover's situation, you know, so just watch out for that. But I don't feel like this is a bad Seven of Cups. I feel like in this deck it's, you know, she's very seriously considering this love option, and this lady's kind of grinning and being like, yeah, you know, you go for it, girl. I don't sense any like nefariousness from this bear person, this King Arthur energy, this sort of strong, powerful leader, authoritative person. But it might just be, again, come back to your inner teacher and your body wisdom, because that will guide you to make sure that you stay tapped into your life force and don't like lose or dilute or dissipate your life force in all these sort of different cups. There might be a necessity to get, with your commitment being tested, there might be a necessity to stay kind of focused on the task at hand, which could well be saying career wise, you know, Pentacles. And your like individuality and your sharing your gifts as a unicorn, as a rare spiritual creature on this earth. You know, there's you've got this access to this higher wisdom. You need to teach. You know, you need to be a teacher. You've got to teach this. This feminine, I feel like, wisdom, this moon wisdom. Again, moon. The chalice, the grail, the holy grail. You know, you've got to teach that, and your commitment around that might be being tested because you might be in a relationship. That might just be, I don't, like I say, nothing nefarious, just maybe a bit distracting, or a bit like your energy's a little bit being diluted. So I feel diluted. So with Morgan Le Fay, she's just very much encouraging you to use your wisdom. You know, use your intuition and don't let your life force dissipate. Like, stay focused on the goal. And whatever this is, if it's a King of Cups, you know, that's a true love, right? That's you're grand, you're good, you're long term. Like I said, Four of Pentacles, it's holding on to someone, you know. So as long as it's healthy, as long as we're not holding on to someone in a toxic way, right? You know, and you'll tap into your body wisdom. You'll know. As long as it's healthy, then that this person will hang around, you know, whilst they're still going to be there. They're there for the long term, is my sense. You know, they want to hold on to you. So you're grand. Like, you can focus on your work and your spiritual work and getting your wisdom out into the world, because you're very close to achieving your goal. Yeah. So be, you be you. You be you. This bear's got your back. He's protecting you. Yeah, I'm just drawn to the fact that there's he's got like, that's interesting. It's almost like a compass, or a little bit like the Wheel of Fortune, like a tiny Wheel of Fortune, or like a compass, or like a steering thing on a boat, like at his throat. So he's very like in command and in control, and knows where he's going, like with that compass. But I feel like that's in an earth way. He knows where he's going on the earth plane. He knows in a linear way where he's going and what to do and where to take charge. But you know where you're going with this like antenna straight to spirit. You know where you're going spiritually. So you're a good match. You're a good yin yang match there, if this is talking about a relationship. But again, this could be talking about you needing to harmonize those energies within yourself. Find that. You need to find that King Arthur, that inner leader, that inner sense of authority, that masculine self-protection and self-preservation, and to get this feminine wisdom, this moon wisdom, this being a teacher, achieving your goal. You're close to achieving your goal, to get it out there. So this could be if it's not to do with relationship, or there's you're maybe you've been married for a long time and you're that's not on the cards, or like you're maybe you're single but you're happily single and you don't want to be in a connection with anyone. In which case, take it how it resonates. This could be well to do with you and becoming your own lover, becoming your own, harmonizing your own masculine and feminine self first within, and maybe even teaching others how to do that. Being that protector on earth, tapping into like your strong, authoritative leader self for your spiritual yin, moon wisdom, wise woman, wise holy grail self. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope that resonated. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for my new watchers and subscribers. Please check out, I'll leave my details below if you're interested to see the Goddesses of the Week posts as they come out. You can find out more about Morgan Le Fay and the other 3 witch goddesses for this month for the Witch Goddess Takeover on Goddess Renaissance. Otherwise, subscribe so you can see when further pick a card readings come out. I'll be definitely doing more over the next few weeks. Otherwise, take care. Have a wonderful October. All my love. Bye. Hi there, pile 4. If you chose the 4th pile with this cute little bottle of crystals and this card here, your witch goddess, sorry. Your witch goddess is the goddess Hygeia, and her message is healing, lives, and prevention. Treat your body with respect. And she is the goddess of health. So Hygeia technically is not, I don't think she's necessarily always referred to as a witch goddess per se. However, because she's the goddess of health and the goddess of healing, and uses plant medicines and natural medicines and holistic medicines and things like that too, and she's really focused on like preventative healing. My guidance was to include her in this witch goddess pantheon for this month, for the Witch Goddess Takeover for this month on Goddess Renaissance. Basically, she presided over, she was a goddess of healing in ancient Greece, but because witches are, there's been a lot of damage done, as most of you probably know. If you've been drawn to a witch reading, you probably already know about all the damage that was done by the patriarchy and the church and everything to the meaning of a witch, or what a witch actually did. And it was taken to mean sort of like really parodied, you know, like in the sense of, you know, with Halloween, you see sort of witches and pointy hats and running around on brooms and, you know, sort of being wicked and green faced and with a long nose and warts and all that. And, or there's this sort of sense of a witch being like a really horrible, hideous character who's like an old hag and lives in a forest and like casts spells on people and all that kind of stuff. And it's all like, you know, because of a lot of propaganda and brainwashing that's been passed down through, you know, hundreds and hundreds or thousands of years. Witches originally were the medicine woman of the communities. And so the reason that I was guided to include Hygeia was because she was the goddess of health and preventative health and self-care and using medicine, you know, using particularly like plants and your diet as a way to you know, stay in good health so that you don't get sick and you don't need to you know, go to like take drugs and things like that because you're already, you know, you're in really good health. So, you know, that was very much the domain of witches originally. You know, they were the healing women of the communities. They were the like witch doctors, if you like. They were the healers. They were the ones who used, like, you know, and it's no coincidence that Hygeia's, her symbol of the snake with the wings and the like the caduceus symbol is used in medicine, you know, to this day. You know, in Western medicine is a symbol of you know, the health institution of the medical system. Because it's a very powerful symbol. It's a symbol of healing, but it was originally a goddess symbol, and it was originally, you know, that sort of associated with that the community witch who healed the community through her natural means of healing, you know, natural medicine, alternative, like witches were you know, what back in the day would have, what is now things like homeopaths and, you know, some like energy healers and natural healers and herbalists especially, you know, all of those kind of natural, holistic, alternative, complementary therapists, all of that kind of thing. That was what in those days, in you know, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, around the time of like the witch hunts and stuff, women were doing those types of things in their communities, administering you know, natural remedies, often, you know, food, like food-based remedies and healing remedies from the natural environment, and the patriarchal powers that came to be around that time were really threatened by that, and obviously women, as part of their dogma, were not allowed any power. They certainly weren't allowed any power to heal. So they were targeted with this, like, you know, the witch you know, label, but in a negative way. Like it was the word was like twisted on itself. So that's why I've been guided to use goddess Hygeia. So yes, so she's the goddess of health. There's going to be, as I mentioned in the other goddesses, there is going to be a goddess blog post for each of the goddesses. So there'll be more information about each goddess, each witch goddess, and how to tap into their medicine. Which will be, I'll put it on my Instagram, so you can follow that below. I'll put the link below. Yeah, basically there'll be more information about the goddess later, but for now I'm going to focus on her messages that she's got coming through. So I've got some oracle card messages that I've pre-pulled for her, but I'm going to pull some tarot. So I've got the animal totem tarot for Hygeia. So I'm going to get some messages for you, Spirit. Wow, King of Cups. That's so interesting because this came out in the start. I used a different tarot deck, but the King of Cups came out for the start of pile 3, which was Morgan Le Fay. So interesting. You've got a bit of a parallel with pile 3 right off the bat. The very first card is also King of Cups for you guys. So let me just get a few more cards and I'll get a bit of a story going for what's going on for you guys for this October. The messages from Hygeia for October. So Page of Cups. Wow, a lot of cups. So we could have a water sign here, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Can we get some more messages? Goddess Hygeia for October. 4 of Swords. Yeah, definitely some healing. That could be an air sign. Let's see any other messages for October. Goddess Hygeia. And this pile 4. 6 of Pentacles. Gorgeous. Oh. 2 of Swords. You also got 2 of Swords. Interesting. Any other messages? No, it popped. Let me just try that again. Go. 4 of Cups. Interesting. Above the Page of Cups. See if there's any. Is that meant to come out? Yes. 6 of Swords. Okay. I'm guided to look at the bottom of the deck. A Knight of Cups. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, let me just get attuned to the messages that are coming through. So, we have got, of 8 cards, half of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, are Cups cards. We've got 3 Swords cards and 1 Pentacles cards. There's not very much earth energy here, but there's a lot of water energy. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So that could be you. You could be a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising on your astrology chart. Or this could be another person coming in for you that you're dealing with. This King of Cups or Page of Cups person. So the King of Cups is someone who's very much in his feels, like in his masculine energy, but in a really like healthy, strong, emotionally connected kind of way. And yeah, it's like this beaver here. So he's kind of the king of the river. So he's kind of he's just like the king of like emotional flow. So he doesn't get fazed by emotions. He's just, he's just sitting there on his throne with this river in the background with all these emotions flowing by, all this love. So, this could be you. You could be coming into a time of like some sort of emotional, I'm hearing like commitment or like a cup being offered, some sort of cup of, emotional offer, emotionally fulfilling offer of love, or this Page of Cups. I mean, this could be 2 different characters. This could be a King of Cups and a Page of Cups that are coming in or are in your life or something, or one of them could be you. Take it how it resonates. Or this could be to do with some sort of emotional situation. So not specifically like a love thing, but like there's some kind of message coming through. With the Page of Cups is often to do with like a message, some kind of emotional message. So, and possibly from Page being is often to do with someone younger, someone not quite as mature, someone not in their full maturity, like the King of Cups. And then we've got the 4 of Swords here, which is ordinarily a card of, it's like a protection, a sense of being protected from the elements. And this little frog here is like sort of down below. I don't know if you can see that very well on the screen, but he's kind of down below here, and there's this very dry, arid land, like this desert with all these cactuses, and he's just sort of hanging out here with this sword, like just sort of sitting and waiting, like underground a little bit, and he's just resting. So it's like this sense of rest and repose and withdrawal, and like an aridness, like a being. It's like quite a contrast to all this water energy, because you've got the beach here and the river here, and then this dry, arid land here. But then it's followed by the 6 of Pentacles, which is a card of like, it's to do with having more than enough. See, this little hen is nudging this pentacle over, or this pentacles is earth energy, and it's usually to do with like physical material things that are manifested on the physical plane. So it can be literally money or just some kind of material possessions. And this hen is nudging this pentacle over to this other hen who doesn't seem to have any pentacles, and this hen's got lots of pentacles. So it's a card of like generosity and feeling pretty plump. Is it pretty plump or pretty plump with your abundance? So this could be one of these characters coming in for you and being very generous and being very abundant and like giving you, or this could be you coming into this energy. And I feel like for most of you, this is more you, that you're coming into abundance. And Goddess Hygeia's message with this, treating your body with respect and healing and so forth. It's like with this Four of Swords, there's this need to kind of like withdraw and rest and retreat and repose and rejuvenate so that you can have enough emotions to give to others. Okay, so I'm getting a bit of a picture now of like, with this Page of Cups here, with this cup turned over and nothing being in it, even though the Page of Cups typically isn't a card of like love lost or anything, I do feel like someone in this situation, this could be you, has maybe overgiven a little bit, or like you've run yourself a bit dry and you need to rest and retreat. So Goddess Hygeia is kind of saying like, don't overgive so much to the point that you leave your cup empty. You need to fill yourself back up. You need to retreat and really rest and look after yourself and really heal and, treat your body with respect and like, come into, get your health back and everything. So there's definitely a sense of resting this October with this Four of Swords and being like protected from the elements, from these other swords that are out here. So that before you start giving things to others, whatever that is, whether that's your energy or your time or your support or financial support, or emotional support or something where you're giving, you've got to be only giving from a really full cup so you can rejuvenate and then you can come into this place. So and then we had Two of Swords. So we've got two sixes here with the Six of Pentacles and the Six of Swords. So we've got a double six and we've got a double four with the Four of Swords and the Four of Cups. Now the Four of Cups speaks of sometimes like overindulging or overdoing it a bit. It's the card after the Three of Cups in the suite, where the Three of Cups is to do with like celebrations and parties and social times and fun times. And then Four of Cups is often like associated with like a sense of like maybe even like hangover or feeling a bit like, oh, I've got to retreat, I've got to just sit back and take my time. So it's kind of a similar parallel message to the Four of Swords. Four of Swords is more to do with healing and being protected from something and really resting and sleeping even, and like just energetically protecting yourself and energetically resting and recovering and rejuvenating. Four of Cups is kind of to do with like just like you've overdone it with sort of Three Cups, and there's spirit or your guidance team or whatever you're trying to manifest, there's this Fourth Cup that's trying to come in, which could be one of these characters, the Knight of Cups or the Page of Cups, if this is to do with someone else, but you're not able to really partake of the Fourth Cup. Now in this case with this octopus here, and this wreckage, I feel like, and then it's followed by, okay, so the story I'm getting now is this Two of Swords here, where there's a little bird on top of these two swords trying to decide which way to go, which way to fly off to, because Two of Swords is to do with like, making a choice between two different paths, two different decisions. And then you've got Four of Cups with this wreckage under the sea, and this sense of like having sort of overdone it, or like I'm hearing like the relationship has sunk, like literally the ship has sunk, so something sunk. So whether that could be you know, an intimate relationship, or a relationship with a boss, or with a coworker, or a family member, or a some situation, some sort of emotional investment, something you've previously invested in has kind of sunk. And with the octopus, it's kind of like a bit like octopuses can kind of like strangle their prey, don't they? So it's almost like it's just with this octopus floating around. I feel like there's kind of a bit of a bad omen here with this Four of Cups. So then it's followed by the Six of Swords, which is this squirrel literally jumping, flying through the air with these swords, like flying out of these swords. So it's like you're moving on from that. You're making the decision, or you're making this October, you're making the decision to like move on from this situation, this thing that's sort of a bit sunk under the sea, and a bit, yeah, it's not really giving you emotional fulfillment, or you're not able to take on the emotional fulfillment right now. So you're moving from Six of Swords is moving to calmer waters. You're literally flying or moving to calmer waters. You're moving out of this like potentially maybe toxic situation, or just difficult, or like a bit of a conflicting situation. Either you've had conflict with someone, or you feel conflict within, or something, and but you're getting out of that, you're escaping it, you're moving on. And then there's this Knight of Cups. You've got all the three cups. This is incredible, so much water energy. The three different court cards of the Cups deck: Page, Knight, and King, and all the masculine ones as well: Page, Knight, and King. No Queen or anything. So, you know, these could be three different suitors, three different potential romantic partners. You know, or one of them is you. You're coming into your King of Cups. But I feel like it'll be different for different ones of you. Some of you, this will be you. This will be your energy coming into your like emotional, like I'm hearing like resonance, like being really resonant with your own emotional self, and like honoring that, but you know, still being very strong in yourself, like not getting overswept by your emotions. Like you can see with this beaver, he's kind of like, he's got a dam up behind him, you know, he's built this dam, so it's like he doesn't get sides, you know, he doesn't get like sideswept by his emotions. They're not going to overtake him. Then you've got the seal here with the Page of Cups, which could be someone else, or an energy that you're just like, there was someone there and you've kind of let that cup go. But then with this like moving out of this situation to this, then the Knight of Cups coming in, which is this like albatross character. There's just a lot of water energy. And even in the Two of Swords, which is swords air and to do with the mind and decisions and things like that, you've got this beach, you know, this sort of cove that this bird is wanting to fly out of. I really feel like the energies that are coming through are the cups as someone else or other people, and the swords is you. You're in this Four of Swords situation and this Two of Swords situation and then this Six of Swords situation. So you're needing to rest and retreat from this in order to give, so that you can make a decision to move on from this Four of Cups, this situation that's not really emotionally fulfilling you, to be honest. With this Page here, with the cup laying down on its side, you know, and this broken ship, it's a bit of a shipwreck. It's not really emotionally fulfilling you. And you're needing to, I definitely see that you're moving to calmer waters with the Six of Swords. That's usually a picture of a ship. In fact, funnily enough, with the Six of Swords, normally the Six of Swords is a ship, or a little boat on a canoe or something on the water, moving to calmer waters from a difficult situation. In this case, oh look, actually there is water. So much water in this reading. There is the river underneath, but there's this squirrel. I think he's a squirrel. Yeah, jumping trees. He's like, whoa, I don't want to be on this tree anymore. It's like, I don't want to be in this relationship, this ship, you know, and like I say, that's not going to apply to everyone. That's not going to necessarily mean intimate relationship for everyone. This could be work relationship. It could be, you know, a family situation, a friendship, you know, there's different ships, right? Take this ship as it resonates. But like the Six of Swords is you know, above this Four of Swords, like you need to rest and retreat and recuperate your energies before you can give anything to anyone. Six of Pentacles, you know, and then you're going to move on to calmer waters, and there will be your Knight of Cups by this little albatross dude, you know. Yeah, I'm seeing that like with the it's like the Knight of Cups has, okay, so the Knight of Cups kind of has like a little bit of it. There's this little cove here with like, there's a cup and like all these little things, these little pebbles, and he's got a bit of a foundation. He's standing on one foot. It's sort of like he's like not quite in his kingly energy. He's not fully mature. The Knight is kind of, you know, he doesn't have to have the responsibilities, the responsibilities and the duty of a king yet. He can kind of run around and be a bit free a little bit still. So he's kind of got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So that might be something to be aware of. But I'm being guided to pull your oracle card messages. That was quite a specific story. So that might only resonate for like one of you, but definitely just you know, take what resonates, leave the rest. Obviously, as with all tarot, you know, they're always intended as general guidance. So this might not be exactly what plays out for you in October, but there's going to be a general essence, I feel like, for some of you of moving on from something that definitely needing some rest. So that's Goddess Hygea's message for sure, is to rest and recuperate this October from somewhere where you may have been overgiving. So, you know, whatever that might apply to, before you give anything else to anyone else, you know, make a decision about that. Like, you know, get clear. Two of Swords is definitely about getting clarity and being decisive on what direction you want to go in, you know. And there's some movement here. You're moving on, you know, regardless of whether it's from a relationship or some situation that, you know, Four of Cups, you were maybe a bit done with. So, you know, this could just be a path, you know. It could even be, you know, this could even be habits. This could just be new facets of you that you're birthing. You know, I'm seeing someone, you know, with Hygeia, with health, goddess of health, you know, the message could be you're moving to better, you know, better waters in terms of like taking better emotional care of yourself and being healthier and doing more exercise. Maybe, you know, it could be new exercise regimes. You're moving on. You're leaving something behind, something that was a bit emotionally unfulfilling. You're making a decision on that and you're moving forward and moving on. And you're going to get this reciprocity with this Knight of Cups here. With this, and he's above, I feel like, because he's above with the Six of Pentacles. And I did kind of feel like the Six of Pentacles energy was someone else. This is someone else giving you, you know, a pentacle here. So let's have a look at the, that's your tarot messages. Let's have a look at the oracle cards. So we've got time, distill yourself. We've got trillium, spirit into matter. We've got pay attention, nettle. Yeah, pay attention, definitely. And we are one, quaking aspen. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to put them around this way because I feel like, actually maybe I'm going to put them down here so you can see them a little bit more. Move that out of the way. Okay, so we've got, there we go. Yeah, so time, distill yourself. So there's a bit of a labyrinth journey that you've been on with whether it's some kind of emotional journey with perhaps an intimate relationship or just towards yourself, you know, distill yourself. This is like getting into your essence. It's like you could go down all these different roads, sort of meander off into all these different directions, but like your essence, your blossoming of your true self is in the middle here. And then we've got nettle. Pay attention. Yeah, nettle is definitely, it's very healing. And detoxifying, and Hygeia is all about that. She's all about detoxifying and clearing out old things that aren't serving us, you know. Four of Cups, and healing. Four of Swords. So yeah, pay attention with, and this is green energy, so this could well be heart chakra energy, but there's a need to kind of tune in and like get clear on what it is that you might need to heal or detox or something. Then we've got spirit into matter with Trillium. So there's a sense of accessing like your higher wisdom, your higher self, your spiritual wisdom, and then bringing that down into the physical world, making it manifest. And there's a lot of autumn leaves around here I'm seeing. So there's this sort of energy of like, yeah, there's this energy of like alchemy in terms of like the fertilizing. I'm seeing the fertilizing of plants when they die, and then they act as fertilizers, like in the forest, like all the leaves and all the worms and all the dead matter in the forest. It's very important. Like, it shouldn't get cleaned away, because it's very important for allowing the new plants to come through. For it's all part of the healing. It's all part of the process of just the ecosystem of the forest. So there might be this situation, and this is below the Six of Swords, of moving on from something and then needing to sort of process that a little bit. You know, Four of Swords, there was some processing going on here, some resting, rejuvenating from something. You know, so there's maybe a bit of a death cycle, a bit of a letting go of the old, letting go of these autumn leaves. You know, we did talk about this potentially bit of a wreckage of a situation, whatever that is for you. You know, take it as it resonates. This could just be old emotional baggage, you know, that you're letting go of, some old stuff, detoxing some old beliefs about yourself. You know, you could have had, you know, from a previous relationship. This could well be someone from the past, you know, or just some old beliefs that are stuck with you that you need to detox from. But with spirit into matter, it's like, with this diamond here, it's like you can, all these jewels, it's like this stuff that looks dead is actually, you can alchemize it into like pearls of wisdom and into like your jewels eventually. Like it'll all come around like through the cycles, you know. And then we've got the last card is We Are One, Quaking Aspen, which is gorgeous, which is like with this Knight of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, there's potentially like a beautiful, well, it could be either way. So that for some of you, this could well be like a relationship coming in, like a beautiful union coming in. For others of you, this could just be you're just feeling oneness with the earth and with the trees and with nature and with humanity, you know, and really connecting with nature a lot this month and needing to ground. So I'm going to finish up with a few. We've got some chakra oracle cards. So we had Spiritual Awakening, Truth, Divine Wisdom, and Angels and Masters. So Spiritual Awakening is actually I'll go up through the chakras. So I'm going to start with Truth, because this is the throat chakra, which is the 5th chakra, which is all to do with speaking your truth, making decisions. You've got the scales here. You've got like water and fire. So it's that kind of yin yang energy, balancing the yin yang energy. But truth is very much, or the throat chakra is very much about speaking your authentic truth and being your authentic self. So there's a real need, and this is very similar messages to the messages from pile number 3 actually, but there's a real need to find that inner truth, which might be why you've had to, or why you will feel nudged to, or why it will naturally happen that you'll be leaping from some previous situation, from something that wasn't really working with all these swords here, to something better. And it might feel like a bit of a leap, like you into the unknown, but that's what you need to figure out for yourself. That's your truth. And then we've got spiritual awakening, which is the crown chakra. So whatever the situation is, or whatever happens for you in October, it's it's very similar to the Spirit into Matter card, because it's to do with your awakening. It's to do with your everyone is undergoing some form of awakening, and awakening happens in a cyclical way. You can have various awakenings over time. There's very few people who have spontaneous, complete awakenings, other than Eckhart Tolle and a few sort of ascended master type people who have instant awakenings. But most of us have slow and painful and awakenings that happen in several stages often. So whatever could be going on for you, there's definitely some form of spiritual awakening. You might say, I am very awake, I am spiritually awakened, and that's true, and we all are to a certain extent, but there's definitely a general awakening happening on the planet, but there's stages of awakening, and there's a deeper awakening that needs to happen for you. And it's about coming into your truth. And there's, with Hajir, she is to do with healing and treating your body with respect and health. So there could be some kind of awakening around your health and your body, something like that, something to do with healing, or maybe stepping into being a healer. Maybe the medical path is something, whether that's traditional medicine, complementary medicine, whatever. But there might be some awakening around your health. And I'm being drawn back again to that nettle card, and the sense of paying attention. Pay attention to your health. Pay attention to yourself. There's that sense of rest with the Four of Swords. So there's definitely some, and awakening as well. I'm being guided to say, when you do go through, a deeper form of awakening, that can certainly make you feel exhausted, like this poor little sleeping frog here. I don't know if you can see, he's got his eyes closed, and he's just sitting. He's got one sword left from the battle that he's just holding on to, but he's not really fully holding it. He's just kind of got one hand on it, like, I'm a bit too tired to fight, and it's like you're, with spiritual awakening, there's a lot of energy that gets, a lot of density and a lot of energy that gets released into your cells. So definitely rest. I'm hearing definitely resting for this power. If you're feeling called to rest, if you're feeling exhausted, that could be a bit of a sign to pay attention to your health and be careful of your health and look out for your health. And then you've also got divine wisdom and angels and masters, which are the soul star chakra. So the soul star chakra is the ninth chakra. So it's just above the crown of your head, your crown chakra. So it sits just above there, and it's a chakra where you can connect with, when you go into meditation or those kind of states, you can connect with like angels, goddesses, ascended masters, those kinds of energies. So the chakra sits here. So you've got, root chakra, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, crown, and then this chakra, the soul star chakra, which is like your sort of star self, your higher self. It's where your higher self sits as well. So there's a need to connect with your angels and masters, or go into meditation, do some healing meditation to connect with divine wisdom. And with this book here and this sort of like stardust coming out of the book, either this could be maybe some of you are writers, or you're going to write a book, or this could be you need to read some books about something. It's sort of saying there's some kind of wisdom that's going to come to you through some kind of reading, possibly about your health, or this awakening to do with your health, or whatever the awakening ends up being to do with your to do with, I mean, Hygeia is mind, body, spirit, health. So, and we can't separate those. They all work together. This is one thing that Western medicine has done a disservice on, because as much as it's brilliant for acute problems, such as you chop your arm off by mistake or something, you can go to the emergency ward and they'll brilliantly surgically reconnect it. But for chronic diseases and certain psychosomatic type illnesses and things like this, Western medicine will often just treat it in the same way they treat acute things, which is like often with, and I'm not saying this is always, because this isn't always the case, but often, or a lot of the time, they'll treat it with with a drug, which often makes things worse, because you're not getting to the root cause of something. And the body isn't actually mind over here, completely disconnected from body over here, and then soul, if you believe in it, over here. Those three things work in tandem. And for full healing to happen, it's got to be holistic. And they're all influence each other, mind, body, and spirit. So there's perhaps some guidance around, and certainly I feel like for those of you in this group, you're very intelligent and perhaps very healthy anyway, and you're already doing this, because I can sense this sort of, oh, well, I'm already awake and I'm already living my truth, and I'm already on my healing journey. I've already healed so much. Why do I have to heal more? And it might be that you don't have to heal more necessarily for yourself. It might be that you're needing to retreat, Four of Swords, and rest and recover and rejuvenate, so you can give your wisdom. Six of Pentacles is all about giving to others, giving out, where you've benefited, so this wisdom you've gained, you can give this out to the world. I feel like you will do that, perhaps through a book, or through some kind of teaching or learning or something. But there's definitely a need to connect with the angels and masters. So I'm being guided to say, if you have a look at, some angel meditations on YouTube, that sort of thing. And really connect in with, you play around with a few different people, or do your own if you already do meditation. But there's a need to sort of connect in with your soul star chakra. So receiving that wisdom from high, if you like, from your higher self, and distilling it down. I was just going to say, I thought there was a card for that about distilling it down. So we've got distill yourself and spirit into matter. So distilling the wisdom down onto earth, into matter, into maybe a book, or into, I don't know, a business or a website or something where you can give to others, things that you've gained. You can, maybe you are really healthy, maybe you've got that sorted. That's your truth, and you're doing it, and kudos to you. So it's time to get that divine wisdom out there and give it, pay it forward, give it to others, share it, get it out in the world. Spirit into matter. You've got to channel. You can't just sit on what you've got. You didn't have Four of Pentacles. Sorry, no, you had, that was the previous. My apologies. I retract that completely. But it is about distilling all this wisdom that you've gained from this labyrinth journey you've been on, and blossoming, and then sharing it with others so that they can benefit and find health, whichever form that is. Maybe some of you are thinking of psychology, maybe some of you want to be some kind of holistic practitioner. Some of you might want to go into medicine, traditional medicine, which is great. Obviously, definitely we need doctors. COVID's been going on. It's a big health theme for this year and last year. I think astrologically, from what I have learned about online, there was something going on in the astrology, and forgive me, I forget exactly which planet was causing this, but it was something to do with what we're seeing with COVID. Is showing in the astrology in terms of some kind of transit that's been going on for a few years that oversees things like health and stuff like that. Now Hygeia is actually one of the asteroids, so there's probably something to do with Hygeia collectively in collective astrology in terms of what's going on. I'm not sure what that is, but if any of you are astrologers, you might know. But there's this awakening, spiritual awakening that's going on, and because you have Goddess Hygeia, your awakening could well be to do with speaking your truth, sharing your wisdom around health and healing and preventative healing. Healing lies in prevention. How do you self-care? Four of Swords, self-care, rest, retreat, rejuvenate. How do you do that? Sharing your wisdom with the world. So I'm going to leave that there, my loves. I hope that resonated for some of you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for watching. I will be, as I mentioned, posting posts about all of the witch goddesses on my Instagram, so be sure to follow. I'll put the link below. And yes, please subscribe, because I will be posting more pick a card readings over the coming months. I'd love to hear your feedback. And all my love. Have a wonderful, wonderful October, and all the best with everything. Bye.